Good evening, Unique Couples community. How are you today?
So, have you ever been at the point where you just felt like giving up? Things are just so hard. You are in a state of just extreme helplessness, sadness, and then maybe even feeling overwhelmed with, just recurring thoughts of doom and something, terrible is going to happen. And, kind of just want to give up. It seemed like a good idea at the time to talk about this topic, depression and anxiety. And then now that it's time to actually talk about depression and anxiety in marriage, it's like, oh, why did we choose this topic for such a time like now? But it is a topic, it is a situation that millions of people around the world are facing, have to deal with depression, and we don't want to not discuss, these burning issues. So we want to talk about, yes, that topic, depression and anxiety, how it affects couples, and how you, if you're a spouse and you're living with someone who is depressed, what you can do to help, and how your marriage can actually work through this. So join us, stick around.
Yes, we are Vito and Linda Patrick. We are here in Freeport, Grand Bahama, in the Bahamas. And like Linda said, we will be talking about depression and anxiety in marriage. We will be diving into that topic this evening. So what we want to do, for those of you that are on, you want to go ahead and type in hashtag live squad. Let us
Let us know if you can hear us.
That you are on, that you are watching. Hello, okay. Kathy. Let us know that you are on. Let us know that you are watching. And you want to also go ahead. You want to like. You want to share. We are on the 3 platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So you want to go ahead and like, comment, and share. You want to tag.
Go ahead, like that button that says with the thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. I think that's the button, right? Yeah. Yes. Give it a thumbs up. Even if you're watching, go ahead and give us a thumbs up for this topic. And then let us know your takeaways as we watch your comments. We like to see them. We love the interaction. So
there goes a like.
Yes. So we want to hear from you as well. This topic this issue has really impacted so many persons. It could be something that couples deal with even before, or a spouse might have dealt with before they got married, and it just continues into marriage. Or it could be a situation that has developed in the marriage. And so whatever it is, we still need to be able to know how to deal with it, how to cope with it, and still make our marriage beautiful. And so yes, we're going to talk about that. But we so stick around. We're going to talk about what
before we talk about that, we just want to share.
Vito's going to also talk about what you can do as a spouse. But tomorrow night, we before we forget, because I don't know where this conversation is going, and I know what is there, but it could take so many twists and turns. We just want to invite you out to something special. We are so excited to be celebrating our Sweet 16 plus 2 wedding anniversary, and so we have our Spice It Up Date Night. Yes.
That'll be tomorrow, July the 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have it on Zoom. Cameras on.
Yes, we want to see you guys. What are you cooking up? What is your favorite meal? We want to hear about that. And we're going to talk about some spices to get your love life, your marriage life going. So join us for Spice It Up Date Night. The link is in the description. We will be in that's for the Unique Couples Marriage Club. So you want to be a part of that. Register to join the Unique Couples Date Night. Okay. And
those who will be there, you want to type in hashtag date night.
Hashtag date night.
Yeah,
okay.
So we can know that you will be joining us.
Yes.
Those of you watching the replay, you want to also type in hashtag replay and also type in hashtag date night, so we can know that you will be coming on as well with us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Spice It Up Date Night.
Yes.
That's tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have our Unique Couples After Dark exclusively on the Unique Couples YouTube channel. You don't want to miss that. So on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Unique Couples After Dark.
Yeah, so you want to be there. And don't forget our marriage marathon. Yes, we're 8 days away. We're all excited. We have about over 5 wonderful couples who will be there sharing with us. So make sure that you are there to join us for the Unique Couples Marriage Marathon.
Yeah.
Hashtag marriage marathon in the chat. You're going to be there. It's all free. And why are we doing this? We are doing this because we want to save, if it's just one more marriage, if it's one couple who can, work through the anxiety, the depression, the infidelity, the trust issues, the communication problems, finance, financial,
trust, communication, all of them.
You want to be able to work through all of that and have the extraordinary marriage. Yes, we want to have that extraordinary marriage.
So that's the marathon. That'll be Monday, August the 2nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you want to make sure you are there. Tuned in the Bahamas. That's a public holiday. So I know folks here won't have no excuse why they cannot watch it.
Yeah, if you're serious about your marriage, you will be here.
Other places,
you'll be here for that.
You'll be able to catch the replay. It will be on the 3 platforms.
Okay, so you want to be here for that. So we're talking about, hello, Gia, depression in marriage, and anxiety in marriage. I remember just like leaning over and bending over. I was at this at school at work, and it just suddenly came. It was like, my heart started racing, and my entire body started to shake, and I was walking, and I think at even one point I was even sweating, and it just became so overwhelming. I just didn't know. It's like my whole body was just affected. And I mean, it wasn't the first time, but it just happened to be the first time that it happened where I physically was in that location. And, just the racing thoughts and this, my heart just kind of like just beating so fast. It was just so crazy. It was just so crazy. Just a feeling. I shouldn't probably use crazy then, but it was just like so overwhelming, right? And let us know if you could hear us. As my volume just came on. So it was just so overwhelming that, I finally, someone was like, put your head in between your legs and, just kind of relax. And, so I eventually did it, and the feeling passed. And I was really amazed at that point, because I was like, okay, what was happening with me that, I'm getting these anxiety attacks, again, like what was happening? And a lot of that had to do with my thought process, what was happening inside of me, what I was thinking about, and, just thinking about the future and what could happen and what could go wrong and what wasn't going right. And all of that just had me in that state where I was just so overwhelmed. And it was actually, even though it was an emotional, psychological experience that I was having, it presented itself physically, and it was indeed scary. I mean, it wasn't the first time, but I remember that time because I said, whatever it is, I have to deal with it. I have to deal with the thoughts. I have to deal with the situation. And so I did, and I was able to thankfully not have to experience it again, where I get to the point where I'm having these panic attacks, these anxiety attacks, right? Yeah. And so it happens. And when things happen to us, we need to know that, hey, sometimes it's normal. It's okay. We need to deal with it before it gets to the point where it just gets out of control. Okay. It gets out of control. And so recently, it was just so much going on, just like, it just felt like years and years of work, years and years of building was just about to be destroyed in an instant. I know some of you have, lost jobs, or, lost a loved one, or just experience loss or something traumatic in just so quickly, and you've experienced that, and you've had that, and that has left you in a state of depression where the sadness is just so overwhelming that you just want to give up. You want to give up on everything and give up on yourself, and just probably don't even want to get out of bed. I've been there. And so being there in marriage and being there before marriage, it was like, okay, I don't want to ever go back there. I don't want to be there. I need to shake this off. And, sometimes it's not a matter of shaking off. It's not something that you could just, like shake off. Okay. And so I just wanted to share some of, what I did and, how, I was able to kind of like get through that. For whatever reason, that is a story for another time as to the why of all of it. But I remember that I could recall vividly just standing up at, I'm not going to mention the school's name, but I was there at college, and just there in the flight of stairs, it was like a really tall building. I'm like, you know what? This is it. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. And the only thing that prevented me from saying, you know what, this is the end of it, this is it, was the fact that I wasn't sure that it was going to be final, and that I would still have to live with the pain of everything. And I realized, okay, I'm in that state. I was depressed. I was dealing with so much and not dealing with it, because sometimes we get to the point where we want to cover everything up, and we cover up and we cover up. And when we keep covering up, we are not allowing ourselves to get the healing and get the help that we need. And that was something that I definitely had to do. So when it came now time for me to experience this, oh my goodness, everything that I've worked for, everything that we've worked for is going to be destroyed or just going to, crumble. And I got in that depressive state. It was, no, I can't go back. No, I won't go back. But I was in it. And being in it, and we see people and we hear and we see we see the beautiful smiles, and we see people, walking, we don't know what they're going through. We see persons in their marriage, and we don't know what's going on. Some people are facing so many things, whether it's abuse, whether it's neglect, so many things going on, so many different places that would leave someone, sad and hurt and, experiencing trauma. And then, of course, it doesn't even have to be with something that's happening with your spouse. It could be something that you would have brought into the marriage, where you're dealing with your emotional problems. Yeah. So, yes, I see Kathy says, yes, don't be ashamed to seek help and get therapy from a licensed professional. Definitely. Absolutely. And so if you find yourself in that state where you're depressed, you're dealing with whatever type of loss, whether it's a loss of a loved one, job, circumstance, and feel like you're losing yourself, or, you just don't want to get out of bed, and, just things that are difficult. You don't want to participate in your daily activities or the things that, brought you joy, and you're not finding any joy in anything that you're doing. I'm not going to name your condition, but you need to be able to look it in the face. You need to be able to know what it is, and definitely identify it and get the help that you need, because depression and anxiety doesn't just affect you. And I think at one point you had to come and pick me up at one point when I experienced one of those episodes where it was like anxiety, right? Yeah. So it doesn't just affect the spouse, one person. Yeah. It will affect you, your partner as well.
Yeah.
It will affect your family members. It will affect your children. It will affect your job. It will affect how you relate to other people. It will affect all of those things. So when we look at depression and anxiety, we don't have to be ashamed. We know that, hey, these are things, and it might not be where it's something that you are living with for a long time, because depression is something that is treatable. Okay. It might not seem easy right now because you're in the situation, but it's something that you can get help for and get through and live past and thrive past. Okay. So we need to kind of be more open to the fact that, yes, we will have issues and situation and things that will affect us mentally, emotionally. We will get drained, and we need to tackle the problems and get help for the situation before it gets really out of hands. And we don't have to be ashamed of it. Okay, we don't have to be ashamed of it. There is always help available, and we just need to make sure we find that help. So some of the things that I did when I was dealing with being depressed and being in the depressive state, and some of the things that I continue to do to make a part of my life so that I don't have to have those, what you call it, you call it like regression, or you slip back and slide into it because of the patterns of behavior that you have. Yes. So some of the things that, that help and that have helped other people would be, I have three things that definitely work that I want to talk about. And number one was that go ahead.
So with number one, in terms of how to overcome, you want to make positivity a priority.
Yeah, put that in chat.
Yeah, you want to put that in chat. Make positivity a priority. And some of the things that you want to do, you want to surround yourself with positive people. Yeah. That's very important.
Yeah. And when we talk about the positive people, you could be in a situation where you're around people who are just so negative. They're always seeing the glasses half empty. Everything is woe me, this. Everyone is against me. The whole world is against me. And if you live in that environment, you're constantly around the people who are talking that way and who are being that way and who could never see anything good out of anything, that is going to affect you. And if you're a person who know that, hey, you're so you could be influenced by that, or you might be in a state where you're depressed, and you do not need to be around people who are going to be woe and gloom and doom, because there is always another way to see the situation. So even with the pandemic, some people, we had to face so many different things, but if you can look at a dark cloud and see a silver lining, if you can look at a glass and see it half full instead of half empty, if you can look at a situation and make the best out of it, why not make the best out of something than to focus on all that's negative? Because if you're focusing on the negative doesn't solve the problem, doesn't help you. It will drain you. Yes. It doesn't help you emotionally. It doesn't give you that, the upbeatness that you need. That's a word. It doesn't give you all of that. Okay. So making sure that
positivity a priority.
It has to be a priority where you're intentional about surrounding yourself with positive people. Definitely.
And then you want to go to positive places.
Yes.
And you also want positive thoughts. And positive places would be where you want to go in a positive environment. You don't want to go in a negative environment, or an environment that would cause you to do something that you don't want to do, an environment that would tempt you.
Yes, because then when you have all of that guilt feeling, that's going to make you even more depressed, because you're like, I can't control myself and I can't do these things, because you're placing yourself in a situation that's going to make it worse for you. So definitely positivity has to be a priority in your life. If you're facing any, and it even goes for people who are not facing any depressive issues or anxiety, that's just something that, hey, have that in your marriage, where you surround yourself with positive people, positive couples who will uplift you and encourage you. Surround yourself with those positive places, the places you go and the things, and even make your home a positive place. Okay. Make your home a positive place. That is something that is definitely needed. And it has been something that has worked so tremendously for me. So just sometimes you just have to take yourself away, and instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the solution. How can I get this solved? How can I make the best out of this? How can more come out of this? And it has to be something that you intentionally do, because if you just leave it to chance, you will be in a state where you're definitely depressed and just dealing with those issues. But if you're intentional about it, then you can make sure that your environment and you are being surrounded, that positivity is something,
is a priority.
is definitely a priority for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so make it a priority. Okay. I was gonna say, go on.
So that was number one.
Yeah.
And then I meant to add to that too would be the Unique Couples Marriage Club. So you want your marriage to be in a positive environment, and that is what the Unique Couples Marriage Club will do. It will have you in a positive environment, an environment where you will be uplifting one another, an environment where you will be learning more about your spouse, getting to know your spouse, how to communicate with your spouse, how to relate to your spouse. Like we say, you'll be getting that spouseology degree. So a positive place would be to be a part of the Unique Couples Marriage Club, because you have to put the work into your marriage. Just like how you go to work every day on your jobs, it's the same thing in marriage. You have to put the work in your marriage.
Yeah. And so when you're dealing with yourself, you have to find ways to make sure that you're surrounded by this positive, so that the negative won't drain you. Because for each negative you put in or you hear in your life, it takes about 80% more positive to just conquer that one negative. Because we've been hearing no and negative and terrible things so much that it takes a whole lot of positive. So make sure, and it doesn't even take away the negative, it'll kind of like just dilute it. So you want to make sure, if you are feeling depressed or you're anxious and you're in that state, you want to make sure that you surround yourself, make positivity a priority, surround yourself with positive people, be in positive places, and definitely only listen to those persons who would be bringing those positive thoughts, their thinking. You want to be around those persons with that positive mindset, instead of those people who will just always see woe and gloom and doom and get you to the point where you're in the negative. Like, all you're feeling, that all that's coming out of you is a negative, because you're surrounded by the negative. And this little saying that I recently adopted has been really interesting, and it's, feelings are not your friends. We could put in the points. Yes, feelings are not your friend. Okay. Feelings are not your friend. And you say that because sometimes we get so caught up in the feeling that we forget about what the actual reality is. So we mix up reality with what we're feeling, and we make our feelings the reality, when in actuality, the feelings are not reality. So sometimes we just have to step back and realize that our feelings are definitely not our friends. Okay. Our feelings are definitely not our friends. So point number one, how I overcome, how you can overcome when you're looking at depression and anxiety. We have 3 points, and then we're going to share on what spouses can do to help their partner who is facing that issue. So number one is make positivity a priority. And then number two, when we look at, what you could do and how you can help, number two is.
So number two, you want the access, the power of self-talk. So you want to access the power of self-talk. So you want to make sure you know what you are saying to yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
So speak only what you want as if it is. The Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. Change what you are saying to yourself. So you want to have a self-talk.
Yeah.
That's very important.
And so all of those recurring thoughts, like when you're feeling anxious and you have all of these negative thoughts, and these thoughts that are coming at you, and it'll bring on the anxiety attack, you have to change those thoughts, and you have to do that before you actually get in the situation where you're anxious. You have to do that ahead of time. So this has to be something that you're saying. And so I built my self-talk, and I was saying my self-talk, and say that, in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, and every time, and just take out the index card and just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it to myself. And that has helped in so many different ways and so many other areas of my life. But having the self-talk, just being able to talk to yourself and say, all of the positive things, even if it's not there, even if, you're not that, business owner as yet, you're not that author as yet, you're not, maybe that professional that you want to be, or you don't have that career that you want to be, and you're speaking all of these things as if it is, because you know that you're working on it, because everything starts in the mind first. So you have to get your mind cleared up, your mind strong, your mind healthy, your mind speaking and working on what you want, because we've heard so much negative that we have to combat that. And so the self-talk will help you with that. So when you talk to yourself, I'm beautiful, I am happy, I'm healthy, I'm excited, I am accomplishing my dreams. So whatever it is that you're facing, and when you look at why you're feeling depressed and why you're anxious, speak those things, speak the positive of those things, speak what you want to happen, speak who you want to be and who you are, even as it relates to who God says you are. But speak that instead of thinking about those negative thoughts or what people would have said to you. When you speak those things, that is going to access and bring you power. That is going to change your mindset. You wouldn't have to deal with so much of that anxiety, because these are the thoughts. So when you starting to feel that overwhelmed, repeat those thoughts, repeat those positive things. Just get your self-talk and just speak that until you know it by heart. Okay. And it may sound like, oh gosh, these aren't true and this isn't right and this is no, but go ahead, write your thoughts, write the self-talk, write it in the present as if it has already happened, and watch and see how it helps you deal with, making sure your mind is right and helping you with depression and anxiety. So definitely, like you said, speak
only what you want.
Speak only what you want. Don't dwell on what you don't want. Speak what you want as if it is. Deal with the power of self-talk. Access the power of self-talk. It will help you through so much, and it will definitely help you in your relationship as well. Okay, so do that. We've talked about self-talk already in so many different areas, but self-talk has really been. And when you use the self-talk, you want to use you want to kind of like imagine where it is and where you are. So use the visions as well, like just imagine imagery and vision, where you just imagine where you are and who you are in the future based on what you're speaking to yourself. Okay, so that was definitely number two on how I overcame, how you can overcome when you're looking at dealing with depression and anxiety. Okay, so remember, there is always. So it's never a point where you need to give up. There's always help available. Okay, there's always help available. Never feel as if that is the end and that is it. Okay, and so number three, talking about help. Number three is get professional help. Okay, get professional help. You might want to join a support group. Okay, you might want to join a support group. Do that. Gather with a group of trusted friends. Be there, have someone to talk to. Do not keep all of these recurring negative thoughts and feelings, locked up inside you and bottled up inside you. You need to have an outlet to express it, because if you don't express it, it will overwhelm you, and then you'll find yourself in the state where you're continually being depressed and anxious because you have not dealt with the issue. So get professional help. Get the support you need. Surround yourself with those positive. Remember, you're making positivity a priority. Yes, so surround yourself with those positive people who will help you build that positive community around you, so that you can have the support that you need. Okay, so get the help of trusted friends. Get the help. Get professional help. Make sure you have that community, that environment that will support you even as you grow through the situation, even as you go through dealing with depression and anxiety. And remember, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You do not have to be ashamed or feel ashamed. Get the help that you need.
Important.
It's a normal part of life, and people go through it. It might just be a stage that you're in based on, the circumstances of what is happening with you and around you, but you do not have to stay in that condition. And so when we look at spouses, your spouse is feeling anxious and depressed. What can you do to help? What are some of the things spouses can do to help if, someone, their partner is depressed or anxious?
Some of the things you can do to help your spouse, you can be patient.
Yeah. So
you're not sure exactly what's happening. So you want to be patient with your spouse.
So with that patience also is like understanding. You have to be to the point where you don't feel as, oh, they need to just get out of it or just bounce out of it, or no, it's not something that they can just bounce out of. You need to be patient and understanding to help your spouse to be able to deal with whatever issue that they're facing. Okay, so don't go and feel like, oh, you should get over it by now. Someone lost a child and maybe they're depressed, and I recovered, so why hasn't she recovered already? Okay, so
everyone is different.
Everyone is different. Definitely. We talked about loss, we talked about grief and grief in marriage and dealing with all that stuff, and we know that even once you go through the grieving process, depression is something that happens. Okay, some people might go through it quickly, and that's it. The length of time for the grieving process varies for everyone. So during that time, you still want to be patient with your spouse.
Yes, and after you are understanding, after you are patient, next, what you're going to do is ask how you may help. Ask your spouse how you may help.
So if they know, they can tell you.
Exactly.
If they know, I need you to help with this. Maybe they need you to pick up some of the slack around the home or with the children, or need assistance in another way. Maybe your spouse is able to communicate and express what they need help with. Then you go ahead and offer offer the help and be the help that they need.
Right? And then that would lead right into the next one, where you would voluntarily help without being prompted.
And I think this is important too.
Yeah.
And both ways, because if I'm the depressed one and I'm feeling anxious and overwhelmed, and you volunteer, you just go ahead and you could see something that needs to be done and you go ahead and do it. I kind of have to be to the point where I don't kind of get upset that you took over or did something that obviously I need help with. So I have to kind of but I might not be understanding based on where I am in that depressive state. So it goes both ways. So if you're voluntarily helping your spouse, you see something that needs to be done and you go ahead and do it, that is going to be something, it should be something positive, but you look and gauge your spouse's reaction, because it might be something negative. It's like, oh my gosh, he's saying that I can't help. He's saying that I can't take care of the children. He's saying, so you have to kind of watch that. And based on, what your spouse is dealing with, work around that. And I just want to say that for spouses who are dealing with your partner, being depressed, know that it is not your fault and it's not something that you could fix. Okay. So, people have and deal with, all kind of emotional issues or trauma or whatever they're facing. It's not, don't take on the blame that you're the reason why it happened. Okay. Now, if you physically did something or whatever, whatever, but
different story.
Yeah. Don't take on the blame to say you're the reason why your spouse is depressed or you're not loving them enough and that's why they're depressed. No. Okay. That is something personal that your spouse is dealing with and has to deal with and overcome, and you just be there to be the support. Okay. So you be patient and understanding, and you ask, how you may help, like you said, and then you voluntarily help.
Yeah.
Without them having to ask you every time. Like you see something that needs to be done, get it done to be the help that your spouse needs.
Exactly. And then next thing you would want to do is you would want to create a safe space for your spouse to open up to you without fear of criticism or rejection. So you want to open up this safe space, create a safe space for your spouse so they can open up to you without fear of criticism or rejection. That's very important as well. And that will help with when your spouse is going through depression or anxiety. That would be very, very important.
Yeah. And so you want your spouse to feel as if, they're not alone, that you're there, that that they can talk to you about anything, that you will be there and you'll support them and you'll love them. Let them feel that assurance. Okay.
Yeah.
Let them feel that assurance to know that you're there and you will support them. And that will definitely, help. So don't go without talking about it. Don't just leave it unsaid. And you see your spouse is probably not eating, or maybe using drugs, or abusing alcohol, or eating less or more, or just doing a whole lot of unhealthy habits, and you don't say anything about it, because people experience and express go through depression and anxiety in different ways. So if you see and aware that your spouse is exhibiting these different behaviors and things that aren't normal for them, have that conversation, be open, create that safe space, like Vito said, so that your spouse could feel like they can talk to you and talk to you about that situation. And then you want to, number 5 for that point would be, you want to express positivity. Okay. So that is definitely something, because when people are depressed, they will tend to look at everything in a negative light. You said morning, but you didn't say the good in front of it, and then that's a problem. Or, it'll be just simple things that everything is just dark and gloomy. Okay. And that's just like a whole bunch of negative outlook on life. But if you're there as that positive beacon, that positive support, encouraging your spouse, at least they won't have to worry about that something being wrong with that part of it as well, with their relationship. So in your marriage, you see that happening, be that positivity for your spouse, be there to support and help them through dealing with it, and make sure that they get the help that they need. Okay. Make sure that they get the help that they need. You may think that you could provide some of the needs that they have. You can work on supplying those needs, but you won't be able to supply and provide for all of their needs. So make sure that they get those needs met. And if it has to be done professionally, let it be done professionally. Okay. So let it be done professionally. So depression and anxiety in marriage is not the end of your marriage. Okay. You can overcome anything. You two can work together. And sometimes one spouse may be strong where the other one is weak, and you two may not be strong at the same time, but knowing that you have that commitment where you're in this together, you're in it together, and you will grow through it. You will thrive through the problems, will make a big difference. So if you want more help, we're talking about taking you on a journey for more transformation in your marriage, intimacy, communication, increasing the trust, making your spouse your best friend, increasing the passion in your relationship, definitely having those date nights like the one we're having on tomorrow. Yes, I'll spice it up, date night. Just making sure that your spouse is getting the support and help, and you're there with your spouse, just getting that Spouseology degree and making sure that you get the help that you need will be an awesome thing for you in your marriage. So join us in the Unique Couples.
That'll be tomorrow night, July the 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for our Spice It Up date night. So you want to go ahead and type in the chat, #date night, so we can send out the Zoom link so you can be there tomorrow night.
Yes, definitely. And then we have our marriage marathon coming up. So be a part of that. Type marriage, #marriage marathon to be a part of the Unique Couples Marriage Marathon that we have coming up 8 days away, August 2nd, 2021. We have an incredible lineup of speakers to join us. So you want to be there, join, and listen out for more related to that. So type Marriage Marathon in chat to be a part of that. So
Yes.
tomorrow night, it is date night.
Yes.
And then we'll see you again on Wednesday.
Stay
But
for unique
if you
couples
have
after
not,
dark.
if you have not joined the marriage club, you need to be there, because it is, like we said, it's a journey. It's a journey to more intimacy, connection with your spouse. It's a journey to, you know, even learning more about yourself as you learn more about yourself, and just dealing with whatever it happens in marriage. And so if you need, if you're facing issues and need more help, join us in the Unique Couples Marriage Club. And then you could also email us at uniquecouplesrekindled@gmail.com. Let us know, is there a topic that you want us to talk about? Put it in the chat, or you can email us at uniquecouplesrekindled@gmail.com, and we will also answer your questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send us your questions there as well. As always, we had fun sharing and being with you today, and we want to say, go ahead and do something to make your relationship, your marriage great. Work on your relationship with your spouse. Be intentional about who you allow in your space, who you allow in your mental space, and just making sure you're surrounding yourself with that positively, because depression affects everyone, not just you. It will affect your relationship with your spouse, your family.
Yeah.
Yes, it will affect everything. So we want to make sure that you get the help that you need, get the support, and surround yourself with positive people. We are marriage coaches, and we are here to help in any way we can. So check us out. Look at the link in the description. And then, of course, if you like anything you heard in this video, remember to subscribe to our channel and share this link as well.
So we had fun sharing with you this evening, and like we said, tomorrow night you don't want to miss the Spice It Up date night. So you want to make sure tune in so we can get you the Zoom link, so you can be there tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna be in for a great time.
Awesome.
So be there tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we had fun sharing with you. Let's have a great week. Let's have a phenomenal week. Let's have an awesome week.
Yes. Thank Kathy. Great conversation. Awesome yes.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Here at Unique Couples, we are building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families. We love you all. See you all tomorrow. Bye.